Hello and welcome to the Hindu's coverage of elections. I'm Srinivasan Ramani, Deputy National Editor. I'm also part of the Hindu's data team. And today we are going to take a data and graphics based look at phase 3, which is going to go, polls on May 7th. And we are also going to combine with a data based analysis with on the ground analysis from our reporters who are from various states and who will tell us what's happening in this seats that are going to elections on May 7th. Close to 94 seats across 12 states are going to polls on May 7th, as you can see in this map. States like Assam, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Union Territories, Amarnath Tewary and Dadra and Nagar Haveli, states like Goa, Gujarat, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal are all going to elections. Let's have a seat-wise look. There are 26 seats in Gujarat, and all 26 are going to polls. 14, roughly half of the number of seats in Karnataka, they are going to polls. 11 seats from Maharashtra are going to polls. Uttar Pradesh, there are 10 seats. Madhya Pradesh, 9 seats. Chhattisgarh, 7. Bihar, 5. Assam, 4. West Bengal, 4. Goa, 2. Daman and Diu and Dadra and Nagar Haveli, 2. A total of 94 seats. So, before we get into an explanation of what is happening in these seats, let's take a step back and find out what is happening in these elections. Is this elections similar to what happened in 2019? We'll take recourse to what was found in one of the more credible surveys that was done before the elections by Lokniti in collaboration with us, the Hindu. What did the survey say? The survey said that the two most primary concerns for the voter when they went to elections were unemployment. Close to 27% of all the respondents who were part of the survey said unemployment was their most important concern. 23% said price rise was their concern. Development was 13%. Corruption 8%. Those who said Ram Mandir in Ayodhya was the issue that was going to be their chief concern in deciding who they are going to vote for, only 8%. And Hindutva 2%. So what does this say? If you are talking about unemployment and price rise, clearly these are issues that voters are bothered about, and a large chunk of the voters would say the central government is responsible for issues such as unemployment, such as creating jobs and also controlling price rise. So while only 8% are saying they're building the Ram Mandir, which is cited as a key achievement of this BJP-led government led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, only 8% are saying this is their most important concern. That suggests that this contest is not done and dusted. There is a significant amount of people among the electorate who are bothered about livelihood concerns, who are bothered about development concerns, and that could weigh upon how they vote in the elections. Let's take a closer look. If you look at in terms of leadership, close to half of the respondents said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi was their preferred Prime Ministerial choice. So at one level they are saying unemployment and price rise are the chief concerns, yet the BJP has a decisive advantage when it comes to leadership, right? If you look at the question whether when they were asked as to whether the government should be given another chance, clearly the BJP has a decisive lead in the sense that 44% of those surveyed said they would like to give the BJP government another chance. 39% said they didn't want to give another chance. But look at the numbers more closely. In 2019, the difference between those who wanted to give the government another chance and those who didn't was close to 12 percentage points. But that has narrowed to 5 percentage points. So even though the BJP has an edge in terms of people wanting to give them another chance, then the difference is quite narrow. If you go back to the choice for parties, right, close to 40% of those surveyed, for them BJP was their preferred choice, and 6% for them the BJP's allies were the preferred choice. So nearly 46% of those before the polls began were inclined to vote towards the BJP and its allies, while the Congress and its allies as part of the India grouping, close to 34% were inclined to do so. But there are some parties which are part of the India grouping in some states and not in other states. Therefore, parties like the left and Trinamool Congress, they prefer to vote. The numbers that they commanded was close to 2 to 5%. So if you bring all of them together, the number of people who are willing to vote for the BJP in its allies was 46%. And the number of people willing to vote for the opposition was close to 34 plus 2 plus 3, 39%. So again, so in terms of preference for the parties, then the gap was also quite narrow. So that's what is the takeaway from this? The takeaway from this is that this election is not done and dusted as it was in 2019, which was dominated by issues such as the attacks in Pulwama and the Indian government's response by dropping artillery in Balakot in Pakistan and so on. This is an election that is going to be driven on issues related to livelihood, issues related to development, and therefore this election will be decided state by state and constituency by constituency, even though the BJP still has somewhat of an edge with respect to its opponents in the opposition. One issue that the BJP has a clear edge is on the issue of leadership by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, let's get back to the constituencies that are going to polls in phase 3. So, as I said, 94 seats are going to elections in phase 3. Let's look at what happened in phase 1 and phase 2 elections in 2019. If you look at phase 1 in 2019, 101 seats that went to polls in phase 1. In 2019, the NDA grouping led by the BJP had a 34.05% vote share. The India grouping had close to 41% vote share. And others, which included parties like ADMK, etc., had a 25% vote share. So clearly, seats that went to elections in phase 1, the India grouping had somewhat of an edge, largely because elections were held in states like Tamil Nadu, where the BJP-led alliance won just one seat in 2019. If you look at phase 2, on the other hand, the advantage for the NDA is increasing. The vote share that they won in 2019 was 48.51%. For the India grouping, it was 39%. And for others, it was close to 12.65%. Now, let's select phase 3. If you look at phase 3, the advantage is growing even further. In 2019, the NDA won close to 53.65% of the votes. The India grouping won 33% of the votes, and others won 13.525% of the votes. We have to take this data with a caveat that this was with respect to 2019 elections, where the elections were not that closely fought, and it was determined by factors that gave the central government and the BJP government a decisive advantage. This time, as our survey results showed, that decisive advantage is not there, and therefore we have to do a state-by-state look at all these states that are going to polls and then understand who stands where. So let's get to the states that went to elections in Maharashtra in 2019 in phase 3. That is phase 3 in 2024, all those seats that went to elections in 2019. 8 seats were won by the BJP-led combine, 3 were led by the Congress and its allies, and others 0. But if there's a vote share, the NDA won close to 48%, India group won close to 31%, and others 21%. Having said that, the important point to note here is, you notice this SHS here, this refers to Shiv Sena. The Shiv Sena has since 2019 split into 2 groups. One group led by Uddhav Thackeray is now with the India group, and another one led by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde is with the BJP. The NCP also has split into 2 groups. One led by Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar is now led with the BJP's led alliance, the NDA, and the other group led by veteran leader Sharad Pawar is with the India group. So this obviously this picture won't hold. There is much more differentiation that has happened since 2019. If you look at the assembly elections also, we had similar vote shares. This also is going to change. Now we'll get to our colleague Shoumojit, who is covering elections in these 11 seats. Shoumojit, can you just give us a quick overview of what is happening in phase 3 in Maharashtra?
Yeah, so the battle for the 11 seats in Maharashtra is being fought on a Wagnerian scale, and the prestige of many political clans, not just the Pawar family, but the very political aristocracy in Maharashtra future at stake. And so we have the majority of the seats are in Western Maharashtra, which constitute the sugar heartland of the state. And this is the area, this is the swathe which has spawned sugar cooperatives, milk dairies, educational institutes. This has long been the atomic unit of politics In Maharashtra, throwing up leaders from YB Chavan to Sharad Pawar. And so 7 of the 11 seats are in this belt, which constitute Baramati in Pune, and you have Satara, Sangli, Solapur, Kolhapur, and then you have Raigad, and then you have a couple of seats, important seats in the Marathwada region, in the drought-prone Marathwada region, that is Dharashiv, which was formerly Osmanabad, and you have Latur, which was the stronghold of the Deshmukh family, which of the late Vilasrao Deshmukh. So this is the setting, and Baramati naturally is the microcosmic seat in this entire contest. It's the most keenly fought seat, not just in Maharashtra, but perhaps in the whole country, because for the first time we have two members of the Pawar family contesting as rival candidates. So the two candidates, Sharad Pawar's daughter, Supriya Sule, is pitted against her daughter-in-law, Ajit Pawar's wife, Sunetra Pawar. And both uncle, 83-year-old Sharad Pawar, and his 60-year-old nephew Ajit Pawar are indulging in some hectic electioneering to engineer the victory of their respective candidates. And this has involved pacifying a number of powerful clans in Baramati. So when we spoke about clan prestige, we are not just talking about the prestige of the Pawar clans. In Baramati itself, there are a number of powerful political families who have regarded the Pawars as their staunchest adversaries. So, because of the seismic shifts in Maharashtra's politics, which started from 2014, so this time Sharad Pawar is dependent on these two assembly segments which are held by the Congress. And 4 of these assembly segments in Baramati now belong either to the BJP or to the Ajit Pawar faction. So on paper, the deck seems stacked in Ajit's favor. And this is just about Baramati. So Ajit Pawar has been holding the lure of central funds flowing directly to Baramati. If his candidate, that is Sunetra Pawar, the Mahayuti's candidate, wins, and Sharad Pawar and Supriya Sule are using all their emotional pull. So this is how the battle for Baramati is playing out.
Now, let's go back to the Marathwada region now. We saw the Maratha agitations, peaking in the last year or so. Would that play a factor in the Lok Sabha elections? And if it did, which of the two alliances would benefit or be affected by it?
Yes. So this question pertains not just to Marathwada, but also to Western Maharashtra. So I'll start with the Western Maharashtra part of this problem right now. Now you see, there are 2 seats in Western Maharashtra. One is Satara, the other is Kolhapur, where the ruling and the opposing coalitions have fielded Maratha royals who are direct descendants of Chhatrapati Shivaji. And the reason is they want to cash in on this Maratha agitation started by this quota activist, Manoj Jarange Patil, who has been hogging headlines for the last several months. But despite this agitation having its wellspring in Marathwada, arid, drought-prone Marathwada, Manoj Jarange Patil he reveres these Maratha royals who have been very astute in backing this Maratha agitation. And seeing this aspect, the Mahavikas Aghadi has fielded Shahu II of Kolhapur. He is Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj II of Kolhapur. He is the inheritor of two great legacies. One is Chhatrapati Shivaji. The other is the 18th, 19th century reformer ruler Rajarshi Shahu of Kolhapur. So Shahu II of Kolhapur is his great grandson, is Rajarshi Shahu's great grandson. Rajarshi Shahu was a progressive figure, and he was instrumental in ushering equality. So, so the secular spirit in Kolhapur, in this belt, it prevails due to Rajarshi Shahu. So the MVA, the Mahavikas Aghadi, the opposition Mahavikas Aghadi, did not really have a candidate in Kolhapur. So they fielded Shahu II. Now the ruling Mahayuti, now we go back to Satara, has fielded Udayan Raje Bhosle. Udayan Raje is known more for his off-screen antics than like brandishing a revolver and frequently pulling his collar. And he's known as a Dabang Sansad, so as to say. Udayan Raje is the 13th direct descendant of Chhatrapati Shivaji. And the BJP held Udayan Raje's name for a long time, and it finally declared his name in the 12th list, which just goes to show that they may have preferred somebody else, but okay, even they don't really have a candidate, so they might as well go with Udayan Raje Bhosle. Udayan Raje has been a three-time MP from Satara when he was with Sharad Pawar's NCP.
Is the Shiv Sena candidates also? I mean, is the are the two divided parties of Shiv Sena also fighting against each other in some seats? Can you elaborate on that? Yeah.
This is playing out most intensely in the Konkan region because the undivided Shiv Sena's stronghold, other than Bombay and the Mumbai metropolitan region, was the Konkan. And Naran Rane was the strongman of Konkan. And Naran Rane, as we know, was an aggressive Shiv Sainik, a militant Shiv Sainik, a dyed-in-wool Shiv Sainik of the with all the old Sena spirit. And when Rane left, in fact, it said that so so you have Naran Rane, and now you have the split. Shinde's Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray's Sena UBT, and so it's a real it's a I mean it's a real chaotic situation playing out in the Konkan because you have this three-way phenomena being played out there. So what happened is Rane leaves the Shiv Sena, the undivided Shiv Sena, in 2005. He joins the Congress. He leaves with 12 MLAs. And of all the people who split the Shiv Sena, Rane proves to be the most potent because he ensures that 11 of the 12 MLAs with whom he leaves, they get elected again. So he joins the Congress. He leaves the Congress in 2017. He is disgruntled that they didn't make him the CM and with other issues. And then he joins the BJP. His entry into the BJP was a little painful. It wasn't very smooth. But he joins the BJP. So you have Rane with the BJP, and then you have Eknath Shinde splitting the undivided Shiv Sena in 2022. And so this but the thing is, the Ratnagiri Sindhudurg seat, where Rane is being fielded as the Mahayuti candidate, the Ratnagiri Sindhudurg seat is held by the Sena UBT, one of the handful of loyalists which who Mr. Thackeray has is this gentleman called Vinayak Raut, who is an incumbent MP. So Vinay Raut's followers are firmly with Uddhav Thackeray, but the seat was a bone of contention between Shinde Shiv Sena and the BJP. With Rane wanted to contest even before his candidature was formally announced, and the local leaders of Eknath Shinde Shiv Sena were strongly against Mr. Rane contesting it. And when Rane was a strongman of the Konkan, when he's still a strongman of the Konkan, you see, he had made the careers of a number of regional leaders. Now, his aides have now turned against him. They are either with the Sena UBT, or even when they are with Eknath Shinde's Shiv Sena, they have no love lost. There's not much love lost between them. But he's dependent on aggressive campaigning and a lot of support from Eknath Shinde's Shiv Sena. So it is no longer that Rane, in like the earlier times, used to call the shots across the Konkan, across the Malwar belt. So his power has been significantly attenuated, and he's shifted parties. So he faces an uphill task. The cadre in Ratnagiri Sindhudurg are again, there'll be a very significant section who are still with Uddhav Thackeray and who still haven't appreciated the way this split has taken place. But like Ajit Pawar, who has projected himself as I'm the man to do to get this job done, and Sharad Pawar can't do it. So Eknath Shinde is the person who was actually doing everything on ground. Uddhav Thackeray may have appealed to a number of castes and communities and he may have ridden on a sympathy wave when he was toppled by Mr. Shinde, but Shinde is a man who gets things done on ground.
All 11 seats contested, or are we seeing only some of them being contested and rest not?
Every one of them, because of the split in these parties and because of these internal rivalries between these clans, all 11 are said to be humdingers. And you see, many of these families once used to be with either Sharad Pawar or with Uddhav Thackeray. Now they are on the opposing sides, and it's not a. But at the same time, Mahayuti is in a much stronger position because if the cadre of all these three parties work wholeheartedly to elect the Mahayuti's candidate, then they definitely have the edge. But then again, the jury is out on this.
Now let's get on to the next state, that's Karnataka, which is one of the battleground states. By battleground states, I mean those states where we expect a strong contest to happen. Other battleground states include Maharashtra and Bihar. In Karnataka, if you notice in 2019, even though we call it a battleground state now, the NDA had a significant advantage. It won 26 of the 28 seats. Its vote share was 51.3%, and now the Janata Dal Secular, which was then not in the NDA, is now part of the NDA alliance. It won close to 10% of the vote. So if you cumulatively add up the vote share of the two parties and the NDA vote share, it comes to close to 61%, while the India group has 32%. This was the situation in 2019. However, a lot of water has flown down the bridge in Karnataka since then. If you look at the 2023 assembly polls in Karnataka, where you would know that the Congress had come to power, there was a significant reversal of fortunes in the assembly elections. The Congress increased its vote share dramatically to close to 45%, and its allies and it put together close to 47%. That's the vote share for the Congress. The BJP had won close to 38%, and the JDS's vote share fell down to close to 8%. So if you add up the BJP and the JDS's vote share, it comes to 46%. That's almost close to what the Congress also has, which suggests that if the equations that drove voters to choose parties in the assembly elections hold true for the Lok Sabha elections also, we can expect a closer contest, and that's why we are calling it a battleground state. We'll now go to Karnataka, and we are joined by our colleague Gireesh, who covers northern Karnataka for the Hindu, who will explain what is going to happen in phase 3 polls in Karnataka. 14 seats are going to polls, nearly half the state is going to polls on May 7th. Hello Gireesh. So quickly, my first question to you is, the expectation is that unlike 2019, 2024 we are seeing much more of a closer contest. One, because the Congress is in power in the state, and secondly, the fact that the Congress is also put in all its energies in the state in a big way. So do you think that is happening? Are you seeing a closer contest in the 14 seats?
Yeah, sir. Unlike, in fact, in 2019 also, Congress was in power, and along with JDS, it had contested the elections. But this time, what has happened is there is some impact of the guarantee schemes that which the Congress is banking on. And apart from that, BJP also has seen a lot of dissidence activities within. And compared to 2019, the general feeling among the people of North Karnataka is that there is a lack of clear leader for the BJP as such. Although Mr. Yediyurappa is there as a Lingayat leader, because demographically, Veerashaiva Lingayat community is a very big community in North Karnataka region, apart from the Muslims and other backward classes. But it has been always the community has always played a deciding factor with regard to the elections in this region. In fact, if I go back a little bit behind the years, the earlier it was the Janta Parivar, which actually backed Ramkrishna Hegde as a Lingayat leader. In fact, although he was not from the community, Mr. Ramkrishna Hegde united the Lingayats in the region. But subsequent to his departure, the Lingayats don't find a strong leader as such in any of the parties here. So subsequently, Janta Parivar disintegrated, and after that, as they had no other choice, they went to BJP, and that's the reason why BJP has grown strong in this region in the last couple of decades, especially after the Idgah riots in '92. That Hindutva sentiment has been raised by the BJP factions, and Sangh Parivar actually has a lot of role in this regard, because many of the Hindutva organizations have taken shape in many of the villages. In fact, most of the Bajrang Dal, VHP, and other organizations are quite active in these villages, and that's the reason why BJP has been growing in this region. But what has happened this year, in this election particularly, is that the general feeling among the people is one, of course, is impacted by the guarantee schemes. Even some of the BJP followers who have been benefited from the guarantee scheme are in a way supporting the candidature of Congress leaders here. And another reason why BJP is not doing as it had in 2019 is that there is a lack of strong leadership as such, especially among the Lingayat family. Yeah.
My next question to you relates to the fact that the JDS, which is now an ally of the BJP, now the JDS's stronghold is largely in southern Karnataka, and it is relatively weaker in northern Karnataka. But this time the JDS brings with it the burden of this Prajwal Ravanna sexual harassment case. Is it playing a role in the last few days, ever since the scandal broke out? Is it playing a role in these elections in the northern Karnataka?
Although JDS is not a force to reckon with in this region, it has some following. Even today, there are people who support JDS, but of course, the number is less. In Hyderabad, Karnataka region, which we call as Kalyan Karnataka, there in Raichur and other adjoining districts, JDS still has a strong following, which of course is going to help BJP a little bit. But what has happened after the Revanna case is that every Congress leader is speaking about that issue in every rally that they are going, and naturally there is a sense of in fact, the JDS leaders don't want to speak about it. Even when Mr. Kumar Swamy was there, in fact, he was supposed to campaign extensively in this region. Mr. Kumar Swamy, of course, he skipped a few, and he has not been that active in canvassing for the party as a whole. So that naturally is going to affect the narrative. In fact, Prajwal Revanna's case actually overshadowed the another issue that BJP was trying to build a narrative: the murder of college student Neha Hiremat in Hubballi. So they were trying to build a narrative of love jihad in this region, and in fact, they had succeeded bit also in this regard. But however, because of the Revanna case, that narrative has been sidelined now. And although Mr. Amit Shah and Mr. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi have spoken about this particular issue in their rallies, there are not many takers for the narrative, and this Prajwal Revanna case has overshadowed it, and also it's going to in a way impacted the way people think about the BJP, because BJP hasn't come out very vocally on this particular issue. Otherwise, there would have been protests by the BJP faction if it was something, if it happened with another leader. This time they are just trying to keep mum, and they are not reacting to even questions on Prajwal Revanna's case in this area.
My other question is that while the BJP has had traditionally a stronghold over the Veerashaiva Lingayat community and its leaders there has been some rebellion this time. So is this is this an indication of that a slight dent in the fortunes for the BJP vis-a-vis their support base here, or is it just a factional battle being played out?
In terms of dissidents, in fact, Congress is also facing it in some pockets. But the departure of Mr. Ishwarappa from BJP, it definitely is going to make an impact, because he belongs to the Kurba community, which is demographically strong in this region also. And it's not just Mr. Ishwarappa who is troubling BJP here. Another MP, Mr. Sangana Karadi, who an incumbent MP, now he was denied ticket, and so he has quit BJP and joined Congress. So that is also going to make an impact on BJP's prospects in this region. And in this part, uh, the Veerashaiva Lingayat community, in a way, is being what has happened in Dharwad is that one Swamiji, Fakir Dingaleshwar Swamiji, has openly launched a campaign against the candidate as such, saying that the Veerashaiva Lingayats within BJP are being snubbed by this leader. And he has gone to the extent of saying that even the departure of Mr. Yediyurappa from the chief minister's post, and then he has taken the name of Jagdish Shettar and other prominent Lingayat leaders within BJP. He's saying that these have been sidelined by Mr. Joshi, and that's the reason they should vote against Mr. Joshi in this election. So it's not that earlier what used to happen is that Veerashaiva Lingayats generally believed to be supporters of BJP in this region have slowly distanced themselves from BJP. Although the number is not that big, but the departure is happening, and that definitely is going to make an impact on the election results.
My last question deals with the fact that the the BJP rather, has done relatively better in urban areas across India and in Karnataka in specific. How is it playing out in northern Karnataka in the urban areas?
Of urban areas, of course, for example, if you take, for example, Hubli Dharwad itself and Belgavi, the urban voters have favored BJP. But what has happened, particularly in the last few decades, last 5 years, is that in terms of development, although the claims have been more with regard to BJP, the actual work at the ground level is not that promising. So that's the reason why, in fact, in some of the pockets, the BJP supporters themselves have come out in the open to speak against their respective representatives, saying that although there have been large claims about development, it's not happening at the ground level. So this time, that particular, of course, although the number is not that big, but it's going to make a dent with regard to voting pattern in the urban areas.
Thank you very much, Gireesh. Thank you for your views. Now let's look at Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is the largest state in India in terms of where the most number of constituencies for the Lok Sabha are. UP has 80 Lok Sabha constituencies, and in phase 3 you will notice that close to 10 constituencies are going to polls on May 7th in Uttar Pradesh. And it's a mix of different constituencies. You have urban constituencies like Agra, and you also have semi-rural and rural constituencies. What happened in 2019? In 2019, if you look at the vote share in these constituencies that went to polls, the BJP had a significant advantage. It won close to 52% of the vote share. The Samajwadi Party, its lead opposition party, won only 31.45%. The Congress had only 4%. As a bloc, the BJP had close to 52%, and the India group had close to 36%. And the BSP, the third largest party, won close to 10% of the vote. Having said that, there were assembly elections that were held in UP in 2021 that made the elections much more closer. If you look at what happened in the assembly elections in 2022, rather not 2021, 2022, the BJP's vote share fell from 51% to 45.69, and it also, now the Rashtriya Lok Dal, which was part of the SP grouping, is now part of the BJP. That had close to 4%. The Samajwadi Party more or less retained its vote share, while the vote share of the Indian National Congress fell to 2%. So the BJP's vote share is not as humongous as it was in 2019, and the contest is slightly more, stronger this time when you compare it what happened in 2019. To get more details, we'll get to talk to our correspondent Anuj Kumar, who has been traveling to these areas that are going to polls now, and we'll ask him if there is indeed a contest in UP, as some are saying, or is UP, which is also host to Ayodhya, where the Ram Mandir was built recently and consecrated recently, is it again going to vote the same way as it did in 2019? So now we have Anuj on the line. Anuj has been traveling across all the constituencies that are going to polls on May 7th in Uttar Pradesh in phase 3, and he'll tell us what he's seeing on the ground. Hello Anuj, welcome. Hi. My first question to you is that unlike 2019, there are reports from the ground that are telling us that 2024 is slightly more contested. But having said that, phase three, the seats that are going to polls, and you can tell us which are the seats that are going to polls, they were those seats where the BJP won very comfortably in 2019. So, so what is the nature of contestation this time, if you can tell us?
Yes, the contest is much closer this time. It's not like 2019, and there is no wave as such. And people are talking about real issues. Unlike 2019, people are not saying that everything is okay, and people are not forgiving the mistakes of the current dispensation. They are openly talking about those things, the gaps, the unemployment thing, and corruption at the local level, and the anti-incumbency of the candidates. So all those issues are being openly discussed. Though they are giving grace marks to PM Modi and the law and order, better law and order situation to Mr. Yogi Adityanath, but they are openly talking about the issues. That's the difference this time.
Right. Is this pattern holding true only for rural areas, or you are seeing the same thing happening in urban areas also, like Agra, for example?
No, mostly in rural areas. In urban areas, people do talk about the inflation thing and unemployment part, but they say that there is no alternative as such now. So it's better to go with, and they also talk about India's growing image on the global platforms, and how petty crimes have reduced under Yogi Adityanath government. So those are the issues in urban areas. In rural areas, people do talk about petty crimes coming down, but they come back to unemployment and other issues like this Agniveer scheme, the leaks in examination papers, particularly the police recruitment thing. So those are the issues in the rural areas, and particularly in those areas where BJP won by a huge margin last time, and those which were considered as very safe seats like Meerut. There the problem is much more kind of pronounced, and the caste equations have also come about this time because of the dissonance in the Thakur community in the region, because this time BJP has tied up with Rashtriya Lokdal, and they have included many Gujar leaders as well. So that combination hasn't gone well with the Tyagis and the Thakurs. So they are not supporting the BJP as much as they used to in the past, and BJP is trying very hard to bring them around. But the way the voting percentage has gone down in the first two phases, though BJP has played it down, but that is going to show some effect in the final outcome.
If I can ask you, if I can ask you about this stray cows issue, or Avara Pashu as they call it, is this also a factor in rural areas?
Yes, that was there in 2022 as well. That issue remains. That has not been BJP has not been able to bring about a solution to it. People say that everything is good with Yogi ji, but he has not been able to solve this Avara Pashu thing. However, in the after talking for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they come around and say that at least their cows are not being slaughtered and they are not being stolen as they used to during the Samajwadi Party government rule. So you can't say that it will turn into a kind of a voting issue when the when the electorate will enter the to press the button. But it is an issue, and people do talk about it elaborately. The kind of money that they have to spend to send off these stray cattle to the cow shelter centers that have kind of come up in the region. There are a number of, now in every district there are a number of cow shelter centers, and people have to kind of make their own arrangements to kind of put the cattle into a truck and pay for the driver and this thing and the conveyance, and then they send them off to these centers. So that's a problem. Also, the local cattle fair, they can't sell their cows there. It is no longer the trend to sell their old cattle there. But after talking about all these issues for 10-15 minutes, the underlining factor is that now their cows are safe.
Right.
So you can't say that it's going to have an effect or not. We can't say, because in 2022 there was hardly any effect, and the BJP leaders are not talking about this issue in their rallies as they used to do in 2022.
Right. So even though these seats that that are going to vote in phase 3, they voted in large numbers for the BJP. This phase also includes seats like Mainpuri, which is a Samajwadi Party stronghold. Correct me if I'm wrong. So and the BJP has also now fielded a Yadav person as the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, and it is trying to reach out to win support from the Yadav community, which has backed the Samajwadi Party strongly in the past and in the present as well. But how is it playing out? Is the Samajwadi Party still holding on to its Yadav base? Secondly, political activist and political scientist Yogendra Yadav said that the BJP is suffering, as you pointed out, suffering a certain anti-incumbency that is cutting across sections. And we know that in 2019 and also in 2021, the upper castes in a large way voted for the BJP. Is it true that the sections of the OBCs, other OBCs, upper castes are also moving away from the BJP, or is it too much is being made of it?
You can't exactly pinpoint that this number is moving or that number will move away. But the thing is, what Samajwadi Party has done, that it has changed its kind of strategy from focusing on Muslims and Yadavs to bring up the leadership of the MBCs. They are doing it since 2022. The Shaks, the Mauryaas, which were core vote banks of the BJP for last 2 elections, now they have given tickets to them. In ETA, so there is a shift in these MBCs that now SP is kind of giving them their due. So there will be a shift. In contrast, the BJP is bringing in the Yadav leaders from Mr. Mohan Yadav from Madhya Pradesh to kind of woo the Yadavs, to say that this is a Parivarwadi party who gives tickets to only their family members. But there, I haven't come across too many people saying that they will not, the Yadavs, to say that they will move away from SP. So I think they will continue to go with the India alliance this time. There might be a marginal shift of 1%, 2%, 3%, but most of the Yadavs will stay put. So that's my sense. Also, the Kushwahas, the lower MBCs, the Kushwahas and the Sainis, and those people haven't left the BJP. They will. My sense is they will continue to vote for the BJP because of the social security that the BJP is providing them, and the ration thing. they may say something about their over dependence on ration and lack of unemployment. But at the end of the day, social security is more important, and the BJP and their say in the local thana, and with the BJP, they have a say now in the police station. They can enter it, they can register their complaints. It is similar to how the Jatavs got an entry into the system during the Mayawati rule. Now these castes can show that they have some might in the day-to-day affairs of the villages. So that is a big thing for them, and I guess they will not move away in bigger numbers. So that is the thing that is sticking on, and those numbers are not counted by pollsters exactly, that how much is what's their exact number. So that is, I think, will this plus the dart vote that has come up with the entry of RLT with the NDA might help BJP in some seats.
Right. How about the
So
BSP? How about the BSP factor? The BSP, is it playing spoil sport? And if it is playing spoil sport, who is it affecting? Is it affecting the India alliance? If I remember correctly, the BSP was with the alliance.
It's even BSP is affecting both the sides yeah, kind of evenly. I would say it is affecting the BJP more because this time they have very calculatively selected their candidates according to the caste situation of the seat. And in many of the seats, it's the BJP who is facing the brunt of the BSP in the fray. And there are some seats where the Samajwadi Party has put a Dalit candidate or a candidate who has the possibility of winning. There we are seeing that the BSP vote is shifting towards the SP vote as the day of voting comes closer. So we saw it in Meerut, and now there is some shift that we experienced in Agra. In Meerut, it could be crucial. In Agra, I don't think it will make that much of a difference. So that's there. And yeah.
My last question to you is this: if you want to stick your neck out and tell me who has a decisive edge in phase 3 alone, who would you say has it?
Phase 3, I feel that it is in the Yadav belt, and it is in the reservation territory where there is a lot of talk about from both the sides, the fear of reservation going away, and Prime Minister Modi saying that no, it is all secure, and I lay my life before it's been given to the minorities and all. So it's a crucial phase, and it will decide how the wind will blow in the next four fifth. It is last time BJP won 8 of these seats. This time I think it's more evenly matched, and I guess they will share the honors in this round.
Thank you very much, Anuj. We'll have you for the next phases as well. The next state that we are going to look at, which is going to polls on May 7th, is West Bengal. 4 seats are going to polls on May 7th. These are Murshidabad, Jangipur, and Malda, Uttar and Malda Dakhin, that is southern and northern Malda. All these 4 seats at one point in time used to be Congress strongholds, but much water has flown down the bridge in Bengal in the last few years. And if you look at what happened in the 2019 elections, the BJP made a dent in this region. It won 1 seat, which was Malda Uttar, and it won close to 28% of the vote share. The Congress expectedly won Malda South, and it had close to 26% of the vote share. And the BJP and the Congress and the CPM are in alliance now, and the collective vote share was close to 32%. The Trinamool retained the other 2 constituencies, which are Jangipur and Murshidabad. Jangipur, if I'm not wrong, used to be the constituency where former President Pranab Mukherjee used to contest, and Murshidabad is also used to be a traditional Congress stronghold. But the Trinamool Congress breached them and also won close to 36% of the vote share in 2019. 2019 was also when the BJP made a significant mark in West Bengal. For the first time, the BJP won 18 seats in West Bengal, and one of the reasons it won so many seats was the support it got in the bordering areas in West Bengal, in the north in particular, where the CAA issue or the promise of the CAA played a role in getting the BJP the votes it got. Now, how this issue will play out in 2024, we don't know, but we know in 2021 when when West Bengal went to assembly polls, the equation was flipped. The Trinamool Congress won significantly high number of votes. They won close to 54%. The BJP's vote share fell dramatically to 26%, and the Congress and the CPM's vote share also fell quite a lot in the 2021 polls. So the question now is whether Trinamool will retain its dominance that it achieved in the assembly elections in 2021, or whether many issues that have brought the government shown the government in poor light since 2021, has it started affecting the Trinamool, and who is going to benefit out of it? Is it the BJP which peaked in 2021, or is it the Congress and the CPM which have also shown lives of being a more robust opposition force in West Bengal since then? That is the question we would like to ask our colleague Shiv Sahay, who covers West Bengal for us. Let's go to Shiv. So Shiv, my first question to you is this. The Trinamool Congress had a decisive advantage in the assembly elections in these 4 seats that are going to polls day after tomorrow, while the BJP made its presence felt by winning one of these 4 seats in 2019. Now, is the BJP holding the position that it achieved in 2019, or is the dominance achieved by the Trinamool Congress in 2021 expected to continue in 2024? What is happening in these 4 seats?
Yes. So, this is a very different elections compared to 2019. Because this elections, the whole BJP campaign is centered on, the negative aspects of governance of the Trinamool Congress. In 2019, there was a kind of euphoria, there kind of a wave for BJP, and the BJP registered about 40%, 40% vote share and won 18 seats. Now, this election, if we go about 6 months ago, the Trinamool was in a very advantageous position. But post the Sandesh Khali and the school recruitment scam, BJP has got some kind of a fillip in their campaign, and now things more or less look like in certain regions the BJP is strong, in certain regions the Trinamool is strong. So yeah, from in 2021 assembly elections, the Trinamool was able to stop the BJP's campaign. But now, as elections are, we are over 2 stages, I think the BJP has got an advantage, particularly about issues of corruption and this Sandesh Khali.
How is the CAA issue playing out? Because some parts that are going to polls also has the Namashudra community part of it, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, CAA is very much part of the campaign of BJP. If you see BJP's campaign, it is centered around 3 things. One is the Sandesh Khali, the second is CAA, third is the corruption. Now, CAA is also part of the campaign of the Trinamool Congress, because if the BJP pushes too much into CAA, then it might have a counter effect. For instance, in every public speech which the Trinamool chairperson Mamata Banerjee, she is insisting that CAA is the precursor to NRC, and West Bengal in 2021 she was able to put this point across, particularly among the minorities, that this CA is this CA and the NRC is targeted towards them. So if we see in districts like Malda and Murshidabad, Trinamool practically swept the entire 2021 elections. So CA is kind of a, if the BJP presses too much on CA, then it might have a counter. Even a section of Hindus, there has been migration to West Bengal there has been a history of migration, and many people have come from East Bengal or Bangladesh or East Pakistan. They also get a little concerned when there is too much, thing about, you can apply and get new citizenship and all that. Now, the interesting point is nobody, not many people are applying for this new CAA rule after the CAA rules were framed. So it is a part of the campaign, and the BJP might have, uh, you know, might be able to do well in seats like Bongaon and certain other seats along the border like Ranaghat. But if so, particularly the West Bengal BJP leaders are not saying anything on the CA. So if they press too much on that, then there can be a counter narrative, and that can help the Trinamool as it helped in the 2021 election.
So the Congress used to be a major player in Murshidabad and Malda not long back. Some of his strongmen used to be from there, and in Jangipur also was a constituency which was represented by Pranab Mukherjee.
Right.
Now Congress is in alliance with the left, and they are also leaving no holds barred to try to become the premier opposition force in West Bengal. How is the third front faring, and are they going to be a spoiler for the Trinamool, or are they hurting the BJP by splitting the opposition votes?
So this election is very important for the third front, particularly particularly for the CPIM and the Congress, both the parties. It is an election where they have to, they have to make their presence felt. As we know that they neither have a representation in the parliament from West Bengal, nor in assembly. Also, one Congress leader had won, and then he switched to the Trinamool Congress. So yes, they are a factor in certain seats. They are a factor in seats like, particularly in Malda and Murshidabad. For instance, South Malda, the Congress candidate who is from the Ghani Khan family, he is an important candidate. Mohammad Salim is contesting from Murshidabad. He's putting up a good fight. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is contesting from Bahrampur. He's a five-time MP. So in regions like this, Malda, Murshidabad, and maybe Raiganj to certain extent, the left Congress, as they call it, electoral understanding, will get votes. Now, what it's a very interesting thing as to if there is a split of minority votes in Malda and Murshidabad, the BJP stands to gain from it. For instance, if you see 2019, BJP won a seat in Malda North. It was because the left and Congress votes split. So that is the thing. If and that is what the Trinamool leader. This is what the Trinamool leadership is saying, that in West Bengal there is no alliance, there is no India alliance, and we are the ones fighting against the BJP. So people should not vote for the left Congress alliance. This is what the Trinamool leadership is saying at almost at every public rally, every meeting. So the left, and it will be very interesting to see how they perform in those areas, Malda, Murshidabad, and maybe Raiganj.
So if I ask you to stick your neck out and tell me in phase 3, only in these 4 seats that are going to polls on 7, who holds the edge? Is it the Trinamool? Is it the BJP, or is the left and the Congress big enough a spoiler to win 1 or 2 of these seats? What would you say?
This is about the third phase, right? The 4 seats which are going to elections.
Yes.
Third phase.
Yes.
Yeah. So third phase, we have 4 seats going to poll. 2 was won by Trinamool, 1 Congress, and 1 BJP. I think the Trinamool still has an advantage in the third phase because if you look at the demographic profile of both the district Malda and Murshidabad, they have a majority of Muslim population, and the Trinamool has an edge certainly over the BJP and the left Congress thing. But having said that, if the left and Congress have any chance of winning any seat, this will be from this phase only. If they, like Murshidabad or Malda South are the seats where they can expect to win, and even Bahrampur.
Thank you, Shiv. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. The next state that you're going to look closely is Bihar. and we consider Bihar as another battleground state. Uh, Close to 5 seats are going to polls on May 7th in phase 3 in Bihar, that include Araria, Jhanjarpur, Supol, Madhepura and Kagaria. These are largely in the northeastern parts of Bihar. And if you look at what happened in 2019, the NDA alliance, which included the BJP and the JDU, they had a decisive advantage. They won close to 45% of the vote and won 4 seats. The India alliance, that includes the RJD, the Congress and the left, that won only 26% of the seats. The LJP should be in NDA alliance, correct me, that's a mistake over there, but the NDA, LJP is also part of the NDA now, and independents won 7% of the vote. So if you notice that in 2019, the NDA had a decisive advantage, but as we explained before, this election is not the same as 2019. It is being contested on incumbency, it is contested on livelihood issues, and Bihar being one of the more poorer states in the country, we will get to know what is going on based on the issues that matter. If you look at what happened in the assembly elections when which were held in 2020, the JDU was then part of the NDA alliance then, and in that election, the RJD, Congress, and the left did substantially better than they did in the 2019 elections in phase 3 seats. If you look at it, all 4 parties are, their vote shares are similar and close. And so, if the pattern of the assembly elections hold true in these seats, we can expect a much more closer contest. We'll go and ask our reporter Amarnath Tewary, who has been covering Bihar for us and who has a better view of what is happening on the ground, and he'll let us know what is going on in Bihar. What are the issues that are governing the voters' choice in this phase 3, the seats that are going to polls, one, and is the contest much more stronger than what was there in 2019? What do you think?
I mean, in phase 3, which is going to poll on Tuesday, on May 7th, I think 5 seats are going to poll from Bihar. That is Madhepura, Araria, Khagaria, Jhanjharpur, Supol. These are the 5 seats. And all these 5 seats in 2019, in last Lok Sabha elections, they were won by the NDA. 3 seats were for JDU, 1 BJP, and 1 Lok Janshakti Party. Other than Lok Janshakti Party you can say that United Lok Janshakti Party of Ramvilas Paswan at that time. Mahbub Ali Kaisar had won the poll from Khagaria seat. So in this poll, 2024, on all these 5 seats in Bihar, which is going to poll on third phase on May 7th, the main issue for the voters are development. Even at one seat, the rebel candidates who have not been given the tickets by the RJD and all. But yes, the contest is between the NDA candidates and the RJD Mahagathbandhan, RJD-led Mahagathbandhan candidates on all 5 seats. They are going to contest on in these 5 seats. First of all, I can elaborate you because I have traveled extensively in Madhepura, which is going to poll on May 7th. Madhepura is known as Yadav land. From 1967 or 68, I suppose. 1968, all the candidates who have won the Lok Sabha elections were from Yadav caste. Lalu Yadav, he has won election from Madhepura twice. Sarad Yadav, the veteran socialist leader, he had won election from Madhepura 4 times, and he had also lost 4 times. And all the Yadav caste, BP Mandal, who had authored this chairman, he was chairman of second Mandal Commission in total 14 or 15 lakh voters among the 5. They're quite decisive, and they are quite influential, sizable number of voters to decide the winning candidate's fate there in Madhepura seat. Similarly, in neighboring Supol district, Ranjit Ranjan, Pappu Yadav's wife, had won election in 2014, and the sitting MLA is, I think, Dileshwar Kamath of JDU. But this time, JDU has repeated its candidate Dileshwar Kamath, and he is contesting against Sindrahas or some Chopal, some candidate, not very known candidate in Supol district. But Supol is again Yadav and Kurmi dominated area constituency, and there in these Madhepura, Supol, these are the Kosi belts of northeastern Bihar. And Kosi Belt, the main problem of Kosi Belt is the perennial flood. Every year, the flood comes to inundate these areas of North Bihar. And the biggest problem, the biggest issue for the voters in these areas are migration because of the flood and the perennial flood. And issue of migration is the dominant factor for them. Every year, the people here, they migrate to Punjab, Noida, Gurugram, Delhi, and other areas in search of their livelihood and all. So migration is, of course, an issue in this part. In Khagaria seat again, this time Lok Janshakti Party Ramvilas Chirag Paswan leads that party. He has put up a candidate under NDA seat arrangement alliance, and his candidate is an outsider. He is from Bhagalpur, Rajesh Burma. He is a businessman. And under Mahagathbandhan alliance, the seat has gone to the Communist Party of India Marxist candidate Sanjay Kumar. Sanjay Kumar is son of an old veteran CPM leader of that area, Yoginder Kumar. So contest is between LJP, Ramvilas Paswan candidate, Rajesh Burma, and Sanjay Kumar. So, but the buzz is, among the voters, the buzz is about Sanjay Kumar. CPM is contesting just one seat, Khagaria seat, and CPI is contesting another Begusara seat, and CPI ML, 3 seats in Bihar. So total 5 seats have gone to the left parties, 3 left parties under Mahagathbandhan alliance. So again, in Khagaria, the contest is Rajesh Verma is facing the crisis of being an outsider. He's not considered not as a very strong candidate in Khagaria district. Voters are, they are in support of, because they have a sizable number of the EBC voters, extremely backward class voters out there, and they are in support of this party, but they are not in. I'm not found very much inclined to supporting this LJP candidate Rajesh Verma. And almost all of them, they are saying that he's a good candidate. He's a good candidate from a good party, but he's from outside. So to whom we can approach to in case of any emergency or for development work and all these. And the second crisis for this Mahagathbandhan candidate Sanjay Kumar, that the sitting MP, he is contesting this time the VIP candidate. The seat has gone to another alliance of Mahagathbandhan, Vikasil Insan Party. Mukesh Sahni is the leader of that party, and he leads. So he has got 3 seats in Bihar. Jhanjharpur is one of them. So he has put some Mahaset, Suman Kumar Mahaset, against Rampreet Mandal. So let's see. Suman Kumar Mahaset is not very well-known face. He was in earlier. He was in BJP, MLC, and someone. He has. Come out of that party to contest this election from VIP seats. So Rampreet Mandal is said to be a veteran of this area in Jhanjharpur, and but the problem is being created by the sitting in 2019. Rampreet Mandal had contested the poll against Gulab Yadav of RJD. Gulab Yadav has not been given ticket this time by RJD, but he is contesting the poll as a BSP candidate, Bahujan Samaj Party candidate. So giving trouble for, the alliance candidate, Mukesh Sahni candidate, Suman Kumar Mahaset. So Rampreet Mandal is sitting safe on that seat. So these are the 5 seats of Bihar, which is going to poll on May 7th. And yes, as far as issues are concerned, we can say safely that migration, because it's North Bihar part of states, and North Bihar is every year it reels under perennial flood and all these things, devastation. So migration is the biggest issue. Employment is the issue, but in Bihar, everything is decided just 72 hours before the poll. The polarization of voters gets a very hard stop, rather I would say, just 72 hours before. But sitting, RJD has Mahagathbandhan, RJD-led Mahagathbandhan do not have. The candidates do not have any serious challenge, because they are not the sitting MPs out there on 5 seats. All the NDA candidates are there.
One question people are talking about is the fact that Nitish Kumar, because of his constant shifting alliances, has lost some credibility, and even among his core support base. Now, my first question to you is that true? And second question is that offset by Narendra Modi's popularity? So can you weigh on these 2 things?
Yes, Nitish Kumar has, in my traveling, election traveling, I found, and I was speaking with people across party line, across caste line and all. Everyone, not one of them, everyone was speaking against this chief minister. because of his regular flip-flops and shifting base from this party to that party. So, I mean, what they were telling me is that during my poll coverage, that if BJP had made a electoral alliance with Lok Janshakti Party, Ramvilas Chirag Paswan leads that party, of 17 and 16 seats in Bihar instead of Nitish Kumar. BJP has given 16 seats to Nitish Kumar. So they were saying that if Chirag Paswan was given 16 seats, BJP would have been in a much better position. I mean, because of this Nitish Kumar, BJP is not going to add 1 or 2 seats, but they can even lose 3-4 seats at 3-4 places because of his credibility is at stake, serious stake. I mean, that is why Nevada meeting along with the Prime Minister, Nitish Kumar is not physically well. We all know that here in the state. So in Nevada meeting, whatever time was allotted to the leaders to speak from the dais, because Prime Minister was there, Nitish Kumar had breached that. I mean, stipulated time. And he was going on and repeating the same thing again and again. And PM was staring at his watch and all that thing. And he was also saying that it's not going to BJP is not NDA is not going to cross 400 seats, but 4,000 seats, 4 lakh seats, and blah blah blah. So what we have come to know from the BJP leadership in state that Nitish Kumar was asked not to come to the Prime Minister's meeting from then on. And we saw that at Gaya meeting, at Purnia meeting, he was at even yesterday in Darbhanga meeting, he was not there. Only one meeting that took place in Munger, and it was just because of JDU's ex-national president Rajiv Singh Lalan, who is very close to Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. Mr. Kumar was there along with the Prime Minister in that meeting. But yes, I mean, BJP leadership in state, they are not very inclined to accompany Nitish Kumar in their public meetings just because of his flip-flops and losing credibility among the voters.
Thank you, Amarnath ji. Thank you so much for the views. Let's now go to Assam, the premier northeastern state, the most populous northeastern state in India. 4 seats in Assam are going to the polls. They are largely in the western part of Assam. If you look at it, includes the Bodo areas like Kokrajhar and so on. The capital Guwahati is also going to polls in Assam. 5 seats are going to polls in Assam. And if you look at what happened in 2019, the contest was quite even then. The NDA had close to 30% of the vote share, and it won 1 seat, which was the Guwahati seat. In Barpeta, on the other hand, you had the Congress candidate winning. Congress had an overall vote share of 31%. The AAUDF, largely a Muslim, so-called Muslim migrant party, that did relatively well also. It won 15% of the overall vote share, and it also won 1 seat. Its leader Badruddin Ajmal won the seat in Dhubri. And we had Kokrajhar, which was won by an independent candidate belonging to the and this is the borderland area. And in 2019 we saw a non-Bodo candidate winning the election in this borderland area. But again, in the assembly elections, if you notice, the contest was much more even. I would say contest was in the favor of the Congress, which won the highest vote share, close to 26%. The BJP had close to 20% of the vote share, and its allies, cumulatively, the BJP along with the allies did better. So we'll see what holds in this phase in Assam, and we will ask our correspondent Rahul Karmakar, who covers the Northeast, to explain in detail what is happening in this phase. Yeah, you had also written in your preview that not only are these closely contested, there is a lot of division in the alliances, right? You mean the India bloc is not contesting together. Rather, Trinamool, CPM, Congress are all contesting separately. That is one issue. And the other issue is that these are also not the stronghold of the BJP. So how do you think, if you can go seat by seat, how do you think the contest will play out?
See, Assam has 14 seats. The five each went to the first 2 phases, and those are the seats where the BJP gained most of the seats in 2019, 2014 and 2019. So, and apart from Guwahati, their only stronghold over the last 4 elections has been Guwahati. So, the problem is, for the BJP, because there are 3 seats. If you have to understand the geography and the demography of these constituencies, Borpeta and Dhubri. These are 2 constituencies in Western Assam that had a sizable, that are more Muslim population than the Hindus or the non-Muslim populations. Now, after the delimitation of 2023, Borpeta has fewer Muslims than the Hindu voters are more in number than the Muslim voters. While Dhubri, which already had more than 65% population, has now more than 70% Muslim voters. And in Kokrajhar has been Kokrajhar is the headquarters of the Bodoland territorial region, which has been dominated by the Bodo tribe mostly. And neither the last time the Congress won here was in 1971. After that, it has always been a regional party candidate or an independent party candidate that has won. So, and over the last 20 years, the Congress virtually gave up contesting this seats, and so has the BJP. So because they have alliance with they have had an alliance with the local party that was in power. First, it was the BPF which came into power in the Bodoland territorial region, and it had an alliance with the Congress. Then it switched over to the BJP, and it was that was the time when the BJP formed the government in 2016 with the BPF. But then the alliance with the BJP did not work out. After 5 years, they changed over the BJP and rejected the BPF, and they had an alliance with the UPPL, the United People's Party Liberal. So now these are the alliances now, BPF and the UPPL, which is an alliance of the BJP and the BPF. They are now, the contest is now between them, and there is every chance that the UPPL may win because it also has the support base of the BJP and the AGP. So here, and another factor there, the Congress candidate was supposed to have been strong, but at the same time, they also, the All India Trinamool Congress has also put up a candidate there, and because of the post delimitation scenario, the AGP has a better chance in Borpeta. And the Chief Minister went on record saying that they have given AGP a winnable seat. And it was a reference to the delimitation, due to which some Muslim-dominated assembly segments were cut off and added to Dhubri constituency, and some other Hindu-dominated areas were cut off from the other constituencies and added to Borpeta. Now Borpeta has become a Hindu majority.
Right. My next question is the role of the AAUDF. The AAUDF had been a spoiler for the Congress in the past. Is it holding on to its strongholds? Is it holding on to its vote base, or has the Congress started to make a comeback in the regions where the AAUDF is strong, especially in phase 3?
Badruddin Ajmal came to power, became an MP, but over the years, and then since the last 3 elections, a sizable chunk of the Muslim voters which were with the Congress shifted to the AIUDF. But over the last few years, there has been the AIUDF has not been in a very good position. Even now, today, there are some local papers are saying that some MLAs are likely to quit, after the election and join the Congress. But those are not proved yet. But the thing is, over the last few years, there has been the Congress and the India bloc has also been able to, somewhat sell the concept that the AIUDF has been the B team of the BJP, that it has been A team. Because if you look at the second phase, there were 2 seats where the AIUDF has contested, and they have put up strong candidates. These are 2 seats are Nagaon and Karimganj. So AIVDF has put up a very strong candidate where these two constituencies are Muslim majority constituencies, and the Congress is expected to win one.
Thanks, Rahul. The next state that we'll look is Chhattisgarh. 7 seats from Chhattisgarh are going to polls on May 7th. Chhattisgarh is a tribal-dominated state, and these constituencies are largely in the northern part of Chhattisgarh. And if you notice what happened in 2019, the BJP won the bulk of them, except for 1 seat in Korba, where the INC candidate won the election. In vote share terms, the BJP was well ahead of the Congress. Chhattisgarh is a bipolar state, and only two parties are prominent. BJP won 6 of the 7 seats that went to polls in 2019. They had 52.3% vote share. The Congress had 39.4% vote share. What happened in the assembly elections that was held very recently, last year? The contest was much more narrow. The BJP still won the larger chunk of the vote share. They won 46%. The Congress was not very far behind with 42%. And this election is being contested on the performance of the central government. So it remains to be seen whether the election results will be closer to what happened in 2019, or will it be a close election as we saw in 23 rather. So, and we will talk to our colleague Shubhomoy. Shubhomoy is covering Chhattisgarh for us and tell us what are the equations in the seats that are going to polls in Chhattisgarh in phase 3. So Shubhomoy, my first question to you is that Chhattisgarh went to polls in assembly polls in 2023, and the Congress lost power and the BJP came back triumphant again. And in 2019 also the BJP won decisively here. So considering these two factors, do you think the BJP retains an advantage and 2024 also could herald BJP dominance, or do you think from what you have reported and what you have seen on the ground, the elections are much more contested in phase 3 especially?
Yeah, Srini, you mentioned the last two elections where BJP did well, but it's not about the last two elections. It's also what happened if further back since the past 20 years, that is, since the creation of the state. I think BJP has always been in a decisive majority, or rather an overwhelming majority as far as Lok Sabha elections are concerned. The score line, even during the UPA years, used to be 10-1, 10-1. And then last time when the Congress went to, that was their best performance in the past 20 years. And BJP has already won the assembly elections, doing exceedingly well in the tribal areas and the urban pockets. So I don't think there is anything to suggest that things will be different this time, although Congress is trying its best with its social justice message, or promises like rupees 1 lakh for certain set of beneficiaries. And a little while ago, the Chief Minister Vishnu Desai, he held a press conference, and he said that BJP was going to win all 11 seats. I haven't heard Congress leaders talking about any numbers as such. So I think the BJP has a great deal of advantage, I'd say that.
So the Congress has also fielded some of its heavyweights in this election. Bhupesh Baghel is contesting. Is he contesting in phase 3? Correct me if I'm wrong. And has that given a fillip to their campaign? One, and secondly, this 400 Abki Bar 400 Par slogan. You have also reported that that has not gone down well. And some segments such as the Dalits and tribals have been not been comfortable with the message because they see it as a proxy for changing the constitution. So is that helping the Congress in any way?
That has created some kind of a buzz, but I don't think the message has really percolated really well. When I was in Kaker, which went into elections in the last phase, I met a guy. He was a tribal, and he said although he was a BJP supporter, these kind of things talks about 400 plus. He wasn't very happy with it. The reason he said that the opposition space shouldn't shrink, but his response did not have anything to do with the fear of a change in constitution, or for that matter, reduction in the reservation and things like that. But yeah, the Congress has tried to build a buzz around it, and especially in Jangi Chapa, one of the seats that is going into elections in the third phase, which is an SC dominated seat, and which is a seat where the Congress did well in the assembly elections despite the overall results. So I think in some pockets you see some kind of a buzz going on, but again, I mean, the chatter, I think, is not that loud, is what I'd say.
So so if that's the case, then the larger some opinion polls were saying that livelihood issues, unemployment, and price rise, these were the issues that are going to that were the primary concern of the voters in India in the run-up to the 2024 elections. But if the BJP has such a decisive advantage, that means that either the leadership of the Prime Minister or issues such as Ram Mandir have much more weightage in the minds of the voting public. Is that true, or they associate development also to be something that they feel that the BJP is better at?
At least in the urban pockets, that is what you see. And also when you travel to the countryside and you see the BJP messaging, it's all over. For example, I went to Bastar, and there, there were hoardings talking about Vande Bharat trains, whereas, the region doesn't even have basic railway facilities. That's one of the long-standing demands. So that's the narrative that the BJP has tried to build. And issues like Ram Mandir in 370, I think, are really getting a lot of traction. And one more thing, that India is some kind of Vishwa Guru now, and our standing globally has improved. That is also that is also something that I see quite dominant in the BJP's campaign. And going by the crowds, it's
So if that's the case, what are the constituencies in phase 3 where you mentioned this Dalit dominated constituency as one, but what are the constituencies where the opposition fancies a little bit of a chance at least?
come again.
What are the constituencies in which you think the India bloc fancies a chance, despite the decisive advantage for the BJP in phase 3?
In the phase 3, I think Korba is one seat because it has a tribal, Dalit, all kind. It has a mixed population. It also has some industrial township, and it's also the pocket borough of Mr. Charan Das Mahant, who is a senior Congress leader, and it's it's also the constituency where two women are contesting from these two major parties, Saroj Pandey from the BJP and Jyotsna Mahant, Mr. Mahant's wife. She is contesting, and she's the sitting MP. So that was one seat that the Congress won the last time, and it's hoping to retain it. And it's, perhaps more confident about Korba than the others. And Jangi Chapa, like I mentioned earlier, because it has a strong Dalit pocket. In fact, the seat where Mr. Kanchi, the late Mr. Kanchi Ram contested his first elections. Although the BSP support is shrinking, which also means that those votes might shift to the Congress. So that is another constituency that I feel that the Congress is in some kind of.
Thank you, Shubhomoy. So we covered most of the states that are going to polls on May 7th. We didn't cover Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. A reporter in Gujarat, unfortunately, we couldn't reach him because he's currently on assignment. But we know that Gujarat is the strongest constituency, the strongest base for the BJP, and it is most people expect that the BJP might romp through most of the seats in Gujarat. Madhya Pradesh also, they retained power into 2023, despite having a chief minister who had served the state for quite a long time, and they did it quite decisively. And the expectation is that in the 9 seats that polls are going to be held in phase 3, the BJP is expected to have an advantage. But roughly speaking, despite the dominance in Gujarat, in Madhya Pradesh, and even in Chhattisgarh, as our colleague pointed out, things are not that easy for the BJP, and the elections in phase 3 are expected to be much more contested than it was in 2019. And as we go on to the next phases, we'll notice that issues such as development, employment, price rise will start to resonate even more, and we would like to bring more from the ground from our reporters when we talk to them. Thank you very much.